The U.S. House of Representatives on Wednesday passed two bills that provide over $60 billion in direct funding for the child care industry in an effort to help providers nationwide reopen and improve the safety of their programs during the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. In a vote Wednesday night, the House passed the Child Care as Essential Act on a bipartisan basis, 249 to 163. The legislation creates a $50 billion fund to provide grants to help pay for personnel, sanitation, training and other costs associated with reopening and running a child care facility amid the pandemic. The $50 billion in funding will be administered through the existing Child Care and Development Block Grant (CCDBG), which is typically used to funnel federal funding into child care subsidies for low-income families with children under 13. Under the new legislation, child care providers can apply for emergency assistance regardless of whether they had previously received funding through CCDBG, opening up the funding to a wider pool of applicants. The House also passed on a bipartisan basis the Child Care for Economic Recovery Act, which is designed to provide funding to help child care providers reopen and improve the safety of care facilities going forward. The bill allocates. The Child Care for Economic Recovery Act also includes provisions that indirectly support child care overall, such as amending the Child and Dependent Care Tax Credit and rules around dependent care flexible spending accounts. Changes like these may help more families afford child care if they can access additional financial support. The bill also includes $5 million for the Internal Revenue Service's Volunteer Income Tax Administration Matching Grant Program to help lower-income families get assistance with their tax preparation. "We cannot assume that business can go on as usual if we don't meet the needs of working parents," Linda Sanchez D-Calif said during a press conference Wednesday. When reporters started to ask questions pertaining to other news items, Sanchez interrupted to ask that they stick to the topic of child care. "I get so tired of everyone wanting to talk about deals and redlining and not talk about what's relevant to the majority of families in this country," she said. "Child care was an emergency before, it's critical now," Sanchez said. "If people think it's not a problem, they're not living the reality of American families where both parents have to work or there's only one parent who has to support the household or their grandparents raising children because of drug overdoses." Wednesday's House vote is separate from the $15 billion that Republican senators earmarked for child care under the HEALS Act on Monday night.